A game at the weekend, soccer made headlines for all the wrong reasons, but the pending kick-off of A-League sides this weekend could finally bring the code some good publicity. While the season itself is still some months away, clubs will contest the World Club Championship qualifiers starting this weekend in Gosford.
What an incentive! A minimum appearance fee of $1 million and a chance to play against the world's best on an international stage. That's what's in store for just one of the new A-League football clubs. 4 of them will fight it out in the first round on the Central Coast this weekend, and while it may have been fun and games today, that will all change on Saturday. The Queensland Roar will play glamour side Sydney FC in the first game, and following that, the first of what's sure to become a real derby will get underway, with the Central Coast Mariners to play the Newcastle Jets. Walking with the cheque today, the Mariners under no illusions how hard it will be to get the cash against a team that now boasts former Australian captain Ned Zelic.
Yeah, obviously Ned's he's a well-experienced player and obviously played for the Socceroos and had a great career overseas. So it's a massive plus for Newcastle's chances.
On crutches, young Socceroo Mark Bridge is racing the clock for the start of the season, let alone the qualifiers. But like everyone, he can't wait to watch the likes of Zelic this weekend.
A bit of a different feeling in the change room now, a bit more confidence because we've got someone of Ned's stature in the change room with us.
In contrast, Sydney FC will be without their star signing in Dwight York.
Well, Dwight won't be here for the World Club Challenge this week, but look, irrespective, all the players are looking forward to it.
Daniela and Tilly, NBN News.
Newcastle United Jets management has rejected suggestions the club might not have a field to play on when the A-League kicks off in August. A Jets spokesman said they're in negotiations with the state government to play at Energy Australia Stadium. Meantime, the players had more pressing concerns today at a stadium about 100 kilometres south.
Unfamiliar teammates and a virtually unknown opposition, but some of the mystery surrounding the Jets World Club Challenge opener was taken away today. Newcastle United had a training road trip to the Central Coast Stadium, where they'll play the local side on Saturday. After playing overseas for years, star signing Ned Zelic has his way of doing things. The Jets will be hoping it's not too foreign for the club's other players.
We've been training every day and every day things are improving tactically and also getting to know each other, so hopefully things click on Saturday.
He's a winner, he's a great leader, and the players have responded really well to have him on board.
With Zelic arriving in the country just days ago, the obvious question is, has the newest Jet been hit by jet lag?
I'm slowly starting to get to normal sleeping hours now and feeling better physically.
And what an opportunity for a young Broadmeadow player who carries a well-known Newcastle sporting name. 19-year-old Ben Kennedy will be the Jets' second-string keeper until the club's Croatian signing arrives. Todd Nardi, NBN News.
The Newcastle Jets have been left counting the cost after being eliminated from the World Club qualifiers overnight. The Central Coast Mariners won in a penalty shootout, but adding injury to insult, Jets midfielder Andrew Durante broke his leg, while star signing Ned Zelic injured a knee.
After 2 months of pre-season building towards this tournament, the Jets showed some nice touch early, but Libano Haliti must have wondered what else had to happen to earn a penalty. The Mariners threatened as well, only desperate defence keeping them out. Socceroo striker Ante Milicic had limited opportunity as the home side dug in at the back. While up front they weren't bad either. Liam Reddy placed under all sorts of pressure not long after half-time, but he repelled the attacks. Franco Parisi almost had the match winner with one of his first touches of the game as chances continued to come and go. Ned Zelic did. After being felled, he was replaced with a knee strain midway through the second half. However, it was a blow to Andre Durante that really hurt. After beating Nick Marger to the ball came a horrible challenge from the Mariner. Jets management to review the incident tonight. But for Durante, his season very much in doubt, given it's a second break in as many years to the same leg. Scoreless, the match was settled on a penalty shootout, and things didn't start well for Newcastle. Andrew Clark's attempt for the Coast seemed to sum things up, rebounding off the post and goalkeeper to roll in. The Coast sealing the upset, and weren't they happy? The same couldn't be said elsewhere.
Injured Newcastle Jets player Andrew Durante was in too much pain today to be transferred from Gosford Hospital to Sydney. in a plaster cast from hip to toe after breaking his leg. Club officials haven't ruled out taking further action after he was felled in an ugly challenge.
Preferring to look on the positives, it's hard to disguise the fact the Jets won't be playing again for a while. Knocked out of the World Club qualifiers in the first round, the Jets have been temporarily grounded.
Any tournament that you want to play in, you want to do well. And so it was disappointing in lots of ways.
None more so for Andrew Durante, who remains in Gosford Hospital tonight after suffering a second leg break in as many years after this challenge from Central Coast's Nick Merger.
The welfare of the players is always the number one thing, and there's people who have got responsibility to look after that, and I didn't feel that they did that on the night.
A thinly veiled strike at referee Matthew Breeze may be, but the Jets won't be letting the issue rest.
I know that the club's looking at it very carefully, and they'll do what they need to do accordingly to the situation.
While Newcastle Jets management are almost certain to lodge a complaint, it seems it'll achieve next to nothing. Under FIFA rules, no further action can be taken against a player who's already been booked for an offence. Only had he been sent off, can he then incur a suspension.
On a positive note, injured skipper Ned Zelic joined his teammates today at the recovery session after suffering a slight knee strain, which should only keep him from running for only the next 2 to 3 weeks. Jim Callanan, NBN News.
Still on soccer, and with the Jets out of the FIFA Club World Championship, Newcastle's neighbours, the Central Coast Mariners, are in with a real shot. Apart from featuring in Sunday's qualifying final, they're now hosting it, matched with Sydney FC after they won their semi as well. At Gosford, Nick Merger starred for the Mariners, going on to post 3 of the home side's goals. Adelaide was simply outclassed and, despite several attempts, couldn't convert opportunities.
A switch of venue seemed like the logical solution to a final that deserves to be seen by an appreciative crowd. An all-New South Wales showdown in Adelaide would have held no interest to the local football community in the South Australian capital.
Rather than be dogmatic about it, we saw what was the best for the fans of football and just made a decision to move venues.
The New South Wales Central Coast has every reason to get behind its new team of giant killers. Although a modest midweek crowd turned up last night, what they saw was a team that revolves on enthusiasm. Adelaide never got a look in as the men from the coast took control from the outset. The signs looked ominous when Richard Allegich was judged to have handled the ball in the box. Nick Merger easily converted for the coast's first ever official goal. No let-up for the Mariners, Stuart Petrie brilliant with this finish. While Adelaide failed to respond, it was up to Merger to lead by example, 3-0 at half-time, and the writing was well and truly on the wall for Adelaide. Although the goal frenzy dried up after the break, Merger completed a hat-trick. At the same time, embarrassing United's players and coach, who have endured the longest pre-season of any of the A-League sides.
The second goal shouldn't have happened. The third definitely shouldn't have, and the fourth just compounded things.
The goalkeeper, Daniel Beltrami, singled out for his puzzling performance.
I've never been involved with a team where a keeper's punched the ball into his own net. It's a new experience for me. It's like sex for the first time. I don't know how to deal with it.
Major disappointment also on the other side of the continent for Perth. 14 months since winning the now defunct NSL crown, the Glory spent the night clearing its desperate defence. Sydney played an attacking brand of football, and despite a brief downpour, Perth enjoyed some rare moments of opportunity as midfielder Ufuk Talay steered the ball into his own net. But the setback failed to disunify Sydney, David Carney squaring the balance, with Sasha Petrovski completing a magnificent comeback. 2-1 the final score.
To soccer, and Australia's new A-League has managed to bring home one of the country's best ever exports in former Socceroo captain Ned Zelic. The deal was only done late yesterday with the Newcastle Jets, and he arrived under a cloud of secrecy today to meet his new boss and teammates.
Touching down this morning from Austria, only a handful knew Ned Zelic was even in the country. Even club owner Con Constantine was only informed an hour before the former Socceroo captain walked through his doors. His new teammates as shocked as anyone. As poker machines echoed, it was clear the club had hit its own jackpot with their marquee player.
they basically convinced me that this is a place where we will be having some success, and obviously that's another important aspect for me.
After the Terry Venables saga and Paul Ocon falling through the club's fingers, this payday was worth the wait.
When I saw him walk through, tears come down my eyes.
It took some time for new teammates as well.
Beautiful, it's like seeing a rock star in real life being front row.
It is a massive signing, don't get me wrong, it is.
Zelic will have little time to settle in. The 33-year-old will train with the team tomorrow morning, and 7 days after that, it's game time.
Obviously I know I'm going to be under the spotlight, but that's something that is more or less in the back of my mind at the moment. I'm purely concentrating on what I have to do here.
Once an attacking midfielder, it's in defence that Zelic will command in Jets colours, as they now seem ready for takeoff. Jim Callanan, NBN News.
Now, no doubt about the biggest story of the week in the A-League, the arrival of Ned Zelic as the marquee player for Newcastle United. Zelic surprised everyone by turning up at the official announcement in Newcastle on Friday, signing a 2-year contract with the Jets.
What should have been a media conference announcing Ned Zelic's signature turned out to be a surprise appearance by the man himself. Just hours after jumping off a flight from Europe, Zelic is met by members of his new team. His services at Newcastle confirmed only 24 hours earlier.
Frankly, till he walked through the doors at Sydney Airport at 5:30 this morning, I wasn't quite sure whether it was actually going to happen.
After spending the best part of 14 years in the big leagues of Europe and Japan, Zelic says the time is right to finally come home.
Eventually I would have come back to Australia. It was just the timing of the matter, and I just felt that now was right.
At 33, some may see Zelic's return as earlier than expected in his career. And although he still has a year left on a contract with Austrian First Division side Wacker Tirol, Zelic opted for an earlier release at Newcastle's expense. Ned Zelic's homecoming marks the return of one of Australia's highest profiled exports. His job now is to influence the Newcastle Jets as a serious A-League title contender, with the view of pushing his way back into the national team before this year's World Cup qualifiers.
That's something that is more or less in the back of my mind at the moment. I'm purely concentrating on what I have to do here on Newcastle, and that's my main objective right now.
Zelic last played for an Australian club side in 1992. He's best remembered for his elegance on the field and scoring the so-called impossible goal against Holland in a qualifier for the Barcelona Olympics.
Ned Zelic has scored for Australia!
He played his last competitive international in 1999 before walking out after a disagreement with national coach Frank Farina. And although 6 years have passed, he says he's the same player Australian fans will remember.
I still feel physically in top shape, and feel that I've been playing as good as I've ever played. So hopefully I can keep producing that on the park. I mean, obviously everyone outside is going to have their own opinion once they see me.
He just offers experience, his knowledge, his leadership. He's going to give us everything going forward. You know, defensively, we just know what he can do, so we're very excited to have him.
Newcastle is confident the Zelic name will draw more top-line players to the club, with the possibility of a foreigner filling the last of the 20-player roster.
Soccer and Newcastle Jets manager Richard Money will meet his new team tomorrow, but says new signing Stefan Maltz will soon follow.
No, I don't need to see him. Pretty much know quite a bit about his background. I'm quite happy that the club are interested. I think he's got really good quality.
Newcastle Jets players met their boss for the first time today and were left with few doubts about how things will be run. The straight-down-the-line Englishman was frank in his first-up meeting, but will wait a few more days until he takes a more hands-on role.
You got the feeling Richard Money couldn't wait to get his hands on his new team, but first things first, and that was to lay down the ground rules from day one.
There are some things that are non-negotiable, and so it's important to get them across pretty quick, I think.
The team has been in heavy conditioning mode for the past few weeks, and Money is happy to let them continue for the time being at least.
I've seen the DVD of the game against Central Coast, and I think there are a lot of good positives from that game, but there are some things that I think I can affect pretty quickly.
Coach Jean-Paul Di Marigini can't wait to work more closely with Money, and you'd think the players would welcome it too, given the past few weeks has been nothing more than fitness. One keen to impress quickly is Alan Picken. He's trialling for a spot to cover for the injured Andrew Durante.
We're just having a look at him, and Richard will have a look at him throughout the next 2 or 3 weeks.
He's filling out Stu Mishalik's training strip with the young Socceroo back in action again at the Youth World Cup tomorrow night against hosts, the Netherlands. Liam Reddy, meanwhile, will remain in Ned Zelich's uniform for another week too, until he returns with new signing Stefan Maltz.
The Newcastle Jets have just kicked off in a trial match against NBN Soccer League premiers Broadmeadow at Glendale. The club's search to replace German Stefan Maltz, however, has spread after a Portuguese player marked as a possible replacement committed to an English side. Football manager Richard Money's interest has quickly swung towards a Uruguayan who has experience in both South American and English football leagues. England-based Aussie goalkeeper Andy Pedersen is among the players the Newcastle United Jets are chasing. The club is tight-lipped about the deal, with more expected tomorrow. However, it has been announced it's sent an offer to Uruguayan defender Mateo Corvo.
Jets manager Richard Money says he's not in the business of signing players from watching a DVD, but in the case of Mateo Corvo, he's viewed as a good fit in the absence of Stefan Maltz.
He's an interesting player. He's tough, uncompromising South American left-sided defender.
The club has also moved to make Tarek Elrich a Jet for much longer than first thought. Originally given a short-term contract to replace Joe Wheelhouse, the brother of Socceroo Ahmed has since been offered a 2-year deal.
We've been very impressed with what we've seen with him, and we think he's a young player with a tremendous potential, and we hope that he's going to accept what we've offered him.
And Money was among the spectators at last night's trial in what was a special game for the club's coaching boss.
It's the first time I've seen us play live, and I wanted to use the match not only for some fitness for everybody, but also to have a look at people that I haven't seen.
Although the Jets finished 6-0 winners in last night's trial with Broadmeadow, the NBN Soccer League side pulled off some magic of its own, a worthy opponent as Newcastle continues its A-League build-up. Adam McIlrick, NBN News.
Okay, give us your thoughts. Okay, first of all, let me take you through them. What about this for a finish by Craig Deans, the defender? A great lob on the volley, no less. Opening goal for Newcastle. And by all accounts, Archie Thompson was looking very lively up front, and it was the Socceroo striker who would eventually get a valuable point for Melbourne, because they now play their next 2 matches in this competition at their new home at Olympic Park. This is the goal. A bit of sloppy defending there, and Archie Thompson does not waste many opportunities in front of.
Another sign today of Australian soccer's brave new world is fast approaching, with clubs unveiling their playing strips for the inaugural season. The Newcastle Jets have opted for a different look as they hope for a golden start to their campaign.
Bold and gold. If first appearances are anything to go by, the Newcastle Jets will, at the very least, be hard to miss this season. While incorporating both red and blue, it's gold that really hits you, like the famous away strip of Barcelona. Perhaps officials hope it can inspire a similar playing style.
Oh, hopefully, that'll be good, but no, the strips are looking good, we'll feel good, we'll play good.
A-League management agree, with the Jets strip a favourite.
Well, I have to say Newcastle, and I think the New Zealand night strip is a ripper, and I think all the Kiwis over there are going to love it. But yeah, Newcastle's pretty different, which is good.
Not so the crowd for their home match on Friday night against Melbourne, which failed to pass 2,000 people. But the club says strategies are in place.
The league shows it, the rugby league, and we can do the same, I mean, the supporters were there, but, we're waiting for the big one, and that's on the 26th of August, so we can't wait.
Wins in the pre-season cup would be good to help drum up support, and the Jets fly to Adelaide this week to play a United side, now sporting former Newcastle player Travis Dodd. The Jets played Adelaide in Coffs Harbour 2 weeks ago with success, but on their home turf, it will be a different proposition. Both sides are searching for wins after draws in their opening round games of the pre-season competition. Jim Callanan, NBN News.
Okay, give us your thoughts. Okay, first of all, let me take you through them. What about this for a finish by Craig Deans, the defender? a great lob on the volley, no less. Opening goal for Newcastle. And by all accounts, Archie Thompson was looking very lively up front, and it was the Socceroo striker who would eventually get a valuable point for Melbourne, because they now play their next 2 matches in this competition at their new home at Olympic Park. This is the goal. A bit of sloppy defending there, and Archie Thompson does not waste many opportunities in front of.
Continue with the pre-season cup and move on to Group A, because of course Adelaide and Newcastle and Melbourne and Perth were involved in action last night as well. This is the game at Hindmarsh. Nearly 7,000 turned up for this game to see yet another draw in Group A. A couple of disallowed goals, one after just 4 minutes. Ross Aloisi ruled offside, but the disallowed goal tally was evened up a little bit later on when Matt Thompson was also adjudged offside for Newcastle United. So it remained goalless despite 1 or 2 chances, and a bit of argy-bargy as well. A tackle from Alan Picken on Aurelio Vidmar, really breaking out the angry words between the 2 sides. Picken, incidentally, was shown the only yellow card of the game. The 74th minute was when the first legitimate goal arrived. The corner from Chu came off Michael Valkanis, his 2nd goal in 2 games. But the Jets did manage to find an equaliser on 79 minutes. And again, some lovely skill. And these are the sort of things that we're hoping to see from the A-League. Nicky Carl involved, Guy Bates with the tee-up, and Richard Johnson. What about that for a finish? No chance for Daniel Beltrami. And it finished all square at Hindmarsh between Adelaide and Newcastle.
When you talk about players with experience and how much they are of value to a team like Perth Glory, well, Bobby Despotovski really sums it up, because he scored both goals for them in the 2-1 victory in front of over 7,000 fans at Members Equity Stadium. And that was the incident which led to the penalty. Chaleska goes down, the foul by Picken, and Despotovski steps up, Francis, and beats the keeper. So he's still going strong.
Look, he's a quality player, but he's another one who almost didn't make it for the A-League because of the distance, again, between the end of the last season and the A-League starting. And I think that Steve McMutton's obviously going to have to be careful with Bobby in terms of looking after him physically. And that was Matt Thompson's equaliser. Took it very well. There was a bit of a scramble out of defence from Perth. The ball fell invitingly for Thompson. But then Despotovski, look, he stepped up. There was a controversial free kick which led to this incident. Apparently a bit of discontent on the sideline from the coaching staff, but Despotovski rather stepped up and in clinical fashion beats Liam Reddy. Maybe questions about the keeping as well, but a good result for Perth, their first win in this pre-season competition.
The Newcastle Jets are sounding out fellow A-League sides that also failed to reach the pre-season cup finals about getting a game. Newcastle will play a local team tomorrow night, which will be the first for striker Mark Bridge.
It seems an age since Mark Bridge last played a football match, but tomorrow night he steps out in Jets colours for the first time.
It's hard to explain. Like, I was so close to training last week, then I got sick, so that was another thing that put me out just a little bit longer. It kills you.
Hoping to play around half a game in his return, the Australian under-20 rep has a month to get match fit, but just what games the Jets can get before the season starts is unclear after the team failed to reach the finals of the preliminary tournament.
When the 4 teams that don't play, can anybody tell me what we're supposed to do now over the next 20 days?
For Ante Milicic, it'll be time spent doing weights, boxing or in the pool as he battles to get his troublesome calf tear repaired for the first game on August 26.
I've got that date set in my mind. I think I've got enough experience, and Lee Clark's working me hard in the pool and doing boxing and whatnot, so hopefully my fitness won't be too bad.
And after a measured approach to promote the new A-League, to say the least, the Football Federation of Australia kicked off their campaign to lure fans back to the round ball game today in Sydney. The theme, it's football, but not as you know it. Jim Callanan, NBN News.
The who's who of Australian football is in Sydney tonight for the official launch of the inaugural A-League competition. Earlier today, at the unveiling of the multi-million-dollar marketing campaign, FFA Chairman Frank Lowy said the fans of the game would play a massive role in determining the success of the league.
Let's do it. How many dudes you know roll like this? How many dudes you know flow like this? Not many.
It's young and funky with a touch of Hollywood. This is the new look for Australia's A-League, and from tomorrow, Australia's Football Federation will be spending millions of dollars to ensure everyone knows about the new competition.
We will have crowds in excess of 10,000, maybe 15,000 in most parts. And this is only the beginning. It's a modest beginning. We have 8 teams. We are reasonably well funded. And we hope that this will grow.
Moving from soccer of the past to football of the future, it's the 16 to 24-year-olds that the A-League is targeting most as they try and convert Australia's 1.2 million players to ticket holders.
There's clearly a great love of football out there in the Australian sporting community. They haven't had anything to come and see and watch on a domestic front, and that's what we want them to do. The hesitation that might be there at the moment will only be removed once they actually see it.
I'm sure that they will come. I hope they'll come. I beg them to come. They have to come. Because if they don't come, all the work what we have done in the last 2 years, all the preparations what we do, if we don't get customers through the door, or we don't get the spectators at the grounds, well, you know, what else can we do?
Today, the finishing touches were put into place for tonight's big A-League launch, with more than 500 guests expected at Sydney's Darling Harbour. But despite all the glitz and glamour, it's the fans who'll count the most. And the players too are itching for the new league to kick off, especially Melbourne Victory captain Kevin Muscat, who left English club Millwall to be part of the competition.
It is encouraging, like you did say, and looking forward to it.
How's the football been so far?
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, like I've only played a couple of games, and you know, the bedding in, if you like, getting to know everyone, you know, it takes its time. But you know, we're actually playing some decent stuff.
Former Leeds defender and now New Zealand captain Danny Hay saw Australian football at its best during the NSL days at Perth. And he says the new league has all the hallmarks of those glory days.
Yeah, I must say I do. You know, we had huge crowds and huge support, and there was a lot of hype around Perth Glory, and it seems to be very similar here. You only got to look at the turnout today. There's a lot of media, a lot of focus on it, which is really exciting.
The competition kicks off on Friday, August 26th, with the Newcastle Jets up against Adelaide United and Perth Glory at home to the Central Coast Mariners. David McGrath, SBS Sport.
The Jets were among other Jets today. Newcastle launching its first A-League soccer season at Fighter World in Williamtown. Game 1 kicks off in just over 9 days, or 217 hours for those keeping a closer watch, and the Jets are counting every second. Shadowed by the real thing, the Jets made their season official this afternoon in the hangar of an aircraft museum.
Everybody, I think, suddenly realises that the season is upon us.
In front of club and federation heavyweights, the sound and light show brought nerves to the surface after a marathon pre-season.
Preparation isn't ideal, but I still think, you know, we'll be ready for the first game of the season.
On the field, their A-League build-up continues with more friendly matches against brave local sides. Last night, the Adamstown Rosebuds gave the Jets a real scare early on, keeping Andy Pedersen busy in goal. Newcastle, though, quick to respond in attack. The Jets' second was messy, finished off by Guy Bates. A broken foot was but a mere memory for teenage striker Mark Bridge. This one of 2 goals in his second game back from injury.
I felt good. I mean, the foot held up perfect. My fitness is getting better.
It's the same story for Stu Mashalik, pushing his case for a regular spot with every game.
He's in competition with some good midfield players in the club, but I think as the season progresses, he's going to show everybody that he's going to become a very important member of our team.
The Jets finished 5-0 winners.
Whether or not we're gelling well, the real test will be in the first game against Adelaide.
Back home, Newcastle United captain Ned Zelic believes his side can win the inaugural A-League. His prediction came as the Jets officially launched their season today ahead of their historic first match of the new competition against Adelaide United on August 26.
Preparing for takeoff, the Newcastle Jets hit the afterburners in a bid to attract a bumper crowd for the A-League's first game of the new season in 9 days' time.
I think we've got a really talented midfield, and I think we've got a strong defence. I think we'll be consistent and we'll be competitive, and I think if we can get on a roll, then I think we're going to be very dangerous for everybody.
Today the squad was unveiled before the historic clash with Top Gun striker Ante Milicic in a race against time to be fit to play Adelaide United.
I haven't played for a few months and I haven't trained with the squad yet, but I'm doing a lot of hard work on my own, and the fitness coach putting me through some cross training. So you know, I'm confident by middle of next week I'll be available for selection.
Jets captain Ned Zelic is also fighting to be fit for next Friday's league opener and says his side is a genuine championship contender despite indifferent results in the pre-season.
I'm confident that we have the potential and also good depth to definitely be up there.
For team owner Con Constantine, the knowledge that he'll lose money in the first 3 years is of little concern.
I think Newcastle people, they love the sport. Unfortunately, we're playing one day before the Knights, which is a little bit disadvantaging our club, but it doesn't matter. We're all here in the same city. I think once we get going, we'll have huge crowds coming to the games.
David McGrath, SBS Sport.
Now, the players are fit, the game plan sorted, and the Newcastle United Jets are well and truly primed for their A-League opener tomorrow night. The Jets say their greatest challenge will be controlling their enthusiasm in front of a home crowd.
It seems tomorrow can't come fast enough.
We're just ready to go. It's been a marathon pre-season.
And while it's been far from a perfect lead-up to the A-League, the side couldn't ask for more in the fitness stakes, the entire squad boasting optimum health and enthusiasm to spare.
I think we're gelling really well. I mean, there's a great team spirit.
I feel as though we've got all our guns for the first time since I've been here.
And here's the ammunition the Jets will take into their game against Adelaide tomorrow night. Ante Milicic today named among the certain starters despite earlier injury concerns. While there were laughs at today's pre-game meeting, there's sure to be plenty more nerves when the Jets test the waters of the new competition. At just 19, English teenage striker Guy Bates will be one of the youngest players to put on the Newcastle strip tomorrow night. He'll be playing in front of his family in what's sure to be a game laced with passion.
Obviously you want to go into the game fired up and ready to go, but at the same time you don't want to be too over-motivated and maybe crash into tackles and get yourself into troubles.
We will show the rest of Australia how good the Jets are.
Colleen West, NBN News.
It's painting the game in a new light. The New Look advertising campaign set to make a splash ahead of the season kick-off. Players such as New Zealand's Sean Devine and Queensland's Jonty Richter, movie stars for a day.
I wouldn't mind getting paid what they get paid though.
That's good, that's good, that's good. Keep it going.
But I've got face to radio, so I'll probably find something else to do anyway.
Hollywood director Ridley Scott's crew putting the A-League's gladiators to the sword.
Yeah, just having a bit of fun with paint today.
And A-grade crews don't come cheap. The FFA investing more than $1 million on the innovative A-League campaign, the agency's aim to showcase the players' talents.
We did really want to make a hero of the skills of the players to show that this new code has arrived and it's of a very high standard.
Players from all 8 clubs spent 4 days on the shoot. Skills and thrills, a little tricky to deliver on top of a hill in a strong wind. Just ask Newcastle's Nick Carl.
I was a bit scary at the start, but no, they had enough padding down there and it worked out good.
Carl and Adelaide's Ross Aloisi battling the elements in their search for their own piece of celluloid brilliance.
We actually looked hopeless. Nicky Carl is probably one of the most skillful players in the league and he looked like he was struggling up there with the wind as well.
So it's a new ad, a new look and certainly a newfound anticipation for the August 26 kickoff.
And hopefully we can generate some, more people come in and watch in, and hopefully it's going to take off. It's going to be big.
I think they're putting in all the right work. It's just a matter of everyone supporting it and getting behind it. There's definitely the public here for soccer in Australia. We just got to entice them to come out to the games. Hopefully we can do that with a good brand of football, good marketing, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, yeah, and no one like me. Yeah, yeah. Congratulations, you made it. Like this, let's do it. Like this. How many dudes you know roll like this? How many dudes you know flow like this? Not many, infinity. Not many, infinity. How many dudes you know got the skills to go and rock a show like this? I don't know anybody. Relax and take a breath, yo. Not going away. Can I get a yes, yo? Yes, yes, yo. How many dudes you know roll like this? How many dudes you know flow like this? Not many. Let's do it. How many dudes you know roll like this? How many dudes you know flow like this? Not many, if any. How many dudes you know got the skills to go and rock a show like this? I don't know anybody. How many dudes you know go like this? How many dudes you know flow like this? Congratulations. Not many. Relax and take a breath, yo.
Planted nearly a year back that grew into a football revolution.
How many dudes you know got the skills to go and rock a show like this?
One mighty vision that launched 8 new teams, a coming together of fans, and a new pathway to the global game. The Hyundai A-League is here, and it all starts tonight.
Yes, the Hyundai A-League is upon us. Football history is upon us right here at Energy Australia Stadium in Newcastle. The fans are coming in nicely into the ground. There's plenty of colour. There's some nice pink for you. And we are looking forward to a great tussle here tonight to open this new revolution in football, the Newcastle United Jets against Adelaide United. Well, joining me tonight, of course, is former Socceroo Robbie Slater. Robbie, well, the countdown, how long has it been coming? There's a buzz of excitement in the air and everyone just cannot wait to kick off.
Well, we could feel it driving into Newcastle, couldn't we? And it's certainly, you know, it's coming on more and more. There's lots of people waiting outside. They're all pouring in, and this is the start of the Hyundai A-League.
And what about the fixture tonight, of course? Adelaide come up here, patchy form pre-season, but Newcastle have got a lot of strength, a lot of ball players, a lot of skill.
Well, Adelaide, you know, a big loss for them as their Chinese striker Shin Keng Chu is out with a calf injury. That's going to affect them obviously going forward. I expect them to sit deep. I think Newcastle will have most of the ball, and then they've got Ante Milicic, who's a proven goal scorer in the side. That's a big bonus for Richard Money. Also, the prodigal son, Ned Zelic, they're going to be difficult to beat tonight.
I'm expecting to see heaps of goals scored. I'm expecting to see the crowd going crazy. I'm expecting all the kids and families here today to be absolutely outrageous out there and support our Jets.
Money, because this is the best team, the Jets. Go the Jets. They're going to score lots of goals. They're going to make us all proud. Go the Jets!
Oh, because it's like fun and everybody gets into it and heaps of people come to watch them and it's just exciting.
It's young, it's dynamic, it's fast, and the guys are sexy.
Sexy, eh? Well, I tell you what, it will be dynamic and we are expecting a great game. Now, of course, joining us now, he's been waiting for this night, is the Chief Executive Officer of Football Federation Australia, Mr. John O'Neill. John, welcome to Newcastle. The countdown is over. Crowd coming in, we're expecting a real competitive tussle.
Neil, Robbie, it's showtime. It's here, we've been waiting. 18 months is a long time to wait for big-time football to return to Australia, but tonight's the night. Here we are, Newcastle, Energy Australia, Newcastle Jets versus Adelaide United. It's a great way to start.
You must be delighted with all the people streaming in. You know, people said it's taken too long, but I think this is justification for that.
I think you're right, Robbie. I mean, we had a lot of planning, a lot of preparation to do. The proof of the pudding is an event like tonight, and we can't wait. I mean, we've all had to show patience and tolerance. The crowd is coming in. The players are ready, the coaches are ready, Fox Sports is ready.
We hope so.
And away we go.
Yeah.
John, I think you've pulled a pretty good card out of the deck tonight. Newcastle at home to Adelaide. Great press, great hype around lately. Understandably, a few people sitting on the fence and waiting, but you can go out, put your best foot forward, and hopefully the people will follow.
Well, mainstream media has given us a great vote of confidence. I've never seen football receive such a vote of goodwill. Australia wants this to work, and that's an unbelievably good start. I mean, the community wants this game to succeed, and like tonight, I hope is an historic moment in the very colourful history of football in this country.
Well, it is a colourful moment, and you're showing your colours there around your neck, John. Can you explain that, please?
When in Rome, do as the Romans do. I know Constantine very well, and I think it's a very wise move to go for the Jets.
Yes, I know him very well
and
as well,
I want my fruit and veggies.
But of course, John, plenty of great players on show tonight. We know about Newcastle, got plenty of skill. Adelaide, probably under a little bit of pressure, so it's going to be, I guess, tantalising to see how this game unfolds.
Look, Neil, we have a competition. To the great credit of all 8 clubs, they've put together good teams, good coaches, and week in, week out, right through to March next year, we will see a proper football competition, and that's what we're after.
And the focus goes away now from the administrators who've done a wonderful job, but it now goes on to the players, the coaches and the fans.
It's the game itself. We've created the stage, we've put on all the infrastructure, it's over to them. That's what it's about. You know, it's not about us, it's about the players.
John, we'll let you get back and get ready. You got a quick tip tonight? Are you allowed to do that?
We're not allowed to bet.
Now, Con's here and Con's watching, so be careful.
I think the home ground advantage will be significant.
Oh, there you go, John O'Neill. Yes, the Chief Executive Officer of Football Federation Australia, John O'Neill. Okay, we'll take a short break, come back and look at the combatants on the other side, but taking us out, Newcastle arriving.
Newcastle United in Australia. This is Alan Shearer coming to you live from Newcastle United in England. I'd like to wish your team all the very best for your A-League ball tonight. I know it's a very exciting time for you all and that expectations are very high. Here's hoping we both have a very successful season. Away the lads.
Yes, from a Newcastle Magpie to the Newcastle Jets, Robbie Slater. Boy, the question is, would they need an Alan Shearer tonight, the Jets?
Well, they've got someone, I guess, if we're going to compare anyone to Alan Shearer in this country, I suppose Ante Milicic would be the one, a proven goal scorer and certainly a key and a big boost for Richard Money tonight that he's playing.
Is over, the talking is all done, and the first fixture is here. The Newcastle United Jets at home to Adelaide United in Energy Australia Stadium here in Newcastle. Robbie Slater is with me, and a great scene here, Robbie. The crowd streamed into the ground, and the kids are here. They're ready for kickoff. Well,
there's certainly one thing. There's lots of children here, and that's exactly what the FFA wanted to attract. And look, we're just about there. It's nearly time for kickoff. You know, the Hyundai A-League has arrived, and it's arrived in force in Newcastle.
Plenty of colour in the ground, of course. You see their arms in the air, and the fans, they're curious. They want to know how it's going to go, but there's so much hype around. We've been reading plenty about it, Rob, and the players, having spoken to them, they're very fired up.
Well, I think you're right, and Ned Zellich said it in his interview that people are curious. They've heard so much about the Hyundai A-League. There's been so much hype around it. As John O'Neill said, so much press as we see the players coming to the tunnel. Everyone's here to see it, and there's a lot of them.
Yes, an air of anticipation. The crowd are ready, and the players about to file out onto Energy Australia Stadium. So all is in readiness. It's been a long countdown. The pitch is in pretty good playing order. It's quite a balmy night here in Newcastle for part one of this opening doubleheader, live and exclusive right around the country on Fox. And boy, it should be a competitive game, Rob.
Well, it will. These two teams have met in pre-season twice. Newcastle running out 2-0 winners, and they had a draw in Adelaide only a few weeks ago. But obviously they were only trial games. Tonight, there are points at stake. There's Aurelio Vidmar, recently retired, somewhat surprisingly, I might say. And there's John Cosmina checking his watch. He can't do anything more now. The players, it's all up to them. He's given them the instructions, and here they come.
Let's hear the roar now as the officials bring out the players. Fans of the Newcastle United Jets. It's such a nursery for football in this country, and Of course, Adelaide United, well, speaking of nurseries, they're not a bad nursery themselves. There's a lot of history and there's a lot of pedigree, and these two clubs will go at it. They've already met before, of course, but before we get to that, we will take a moment's silence here at Energy Australia Stadium in memory of the late, great Johnny Warren. Impeccably observed minute silence there in memory of the late, great Johnny Warren as we watch the players now exchange pleasantries. Be interesting to see how this one unfolds, Rob. Two different styles of sides coming together.
Yes, and as we said, they've met twice, but you can throw all that sort of form out the window as they meet here with points at stake. Adelaide, I think, will have a tentative start. We'll sit back deep, and as we see here, the lineups.
There it is, of course, for the Jets. Liam Reddy in goal. Jade North at right back. Craig Dean's partnered by Alan Picken in the middle. Paul Kohler moves to left back. Ned Zelic in front in the middle alongside Matt Thompson. Richard Johnson on the right. Nick Carl left. And up front, Ante Milicic and the 19-year-old Mark Bridge.
You can expect Nicky Carl there to drop into the middle at times.
Okay, and Adelaide United, Daniel Beltrami at the back, Richie Alagich, Christian Rees, Michael Valkanis, Adam Van Dommel, Bar Van Dommel, a lot of experience there. Louis Brain-White on the right, Ange Costanzo and Ross Aloisi in the centre. Costanzo behind Aloisi, Lucas Pentelis down the left, and Travis Dodd pushes up front to partner Carl Viet in attack.
Yeah, well, they will play a diamond in the midfield with Costanzo at the bottom of the diamond, Aloisi, who does like to get forward at the top of the diamond. There's Ante Milicic, calf injury, which has kept him out of nearly all the pre-season, and there's a lot on his shoulders to score the goals for Newcastle.
Our man in charge tonight, Peter O'Leary, has the honour of the main whistle in this opening Hyundai A-League fixture. And the crowd has built up nicely. He's got a smile on his face, so all is in readiness for this one. And you mentioned Ante Milicic. Boy, it'll be interesting, Rob, to see how long he lasts.
Well, Richard Money has got Labana Haliti on the bench.
We are underway here in Newcastle. And it is Adelaide United who get the first touch. They give it over now. Now a chance for Newcastle to come forward. One of the heaviest players in the competition, the big keeper for Adelaide, Daniel Beltrami. There's Alan Picken, who will like to get a lot of early touches. Now, Adelaide United tussling away there. Travis Dodd on the ball. Matt Thompson's in there. It came back to Aloisi. Here's Van Dommel. Cross a little deep. It's probably been a problem with Adelaide, Robbie Slater, the crossing in their build-up to this match.
Well, it was a good sign for them, though, with Van Dommel pushing up. As we said, Alagich and Van Dommel will try to get forward on the left and right-hand sides.
And here's a chance. Beard got through, but the flag up on young Lucas Pentelis.
Very, very skillful player.
He goes short, but it's cut out by Costanzo, but Carl got another touch. Might be able to pick it up here, Adelaide. Pentelis has pace. Well done by Kohler. Now Zelic. Now, I just wonder, the card is out here. Probably rightly so on Lewis Brain.
Yeah, Louis Brain very late. And with the new rules in force, particularly the first game here, the referees are going to come down hard on foul play. And you see here, as the ball goes, he's very late. And that's not a good start for Louis Brown with the yellow card. He's going to have to watch it for the rest of the match.
Paul Kohler, the man who crashed to the turf there under that challenge.
Straight in there with a very, very well-timed tackle.
Adelaide trying to press up the ground here. This chance now for Brain to switch it across to Pentelis. First time cross from Pentelis. It wasn't bad. Craig Deans has been left on the floor. Play goes on. Now the whistle goes.
It looked like it might be a head injury, so he stopped it. That was great play from Adelaide. Luke Pantelis, good width on the right-hand side. Ball looked to be going out, but he's whipped across in, and Craig Deans, very brave defending as we see here. Pantelis whips this one across. Dangerous ball. Carl Vert was lurking. It's fallen back to Travis Dodd, but the chance was gone.
Now Ben Dommel. Cut out. They might be able to break from the centre here. Here's Carl for the Jets. Now Zelic. Richard Johnson. Zelic. Milicic let it run. What a chance. Here's Carl through. Matt Thompson. It's Thompson for the Jets. The cross. Found no one. Mark Bridge has done well here. He's kept it in play. It's Mark Bridge. And Beltrami. Well, he hangs on to it at a second effort. But what a good effort from Mark Bridge.
Well, it's much better play. This is the second chance. Mark Bridge coming across. It's a great idea. Matthew Thompson coming. Just doesn't get enough pace on the ball. But well read for Beltrami. That was much better.
Now the shot from Vert is well over the bar.
Oh, Richard Money wouldn't be happy with that. Far too easy there, Carl Vert getting his shot off. A much better passage of play before from Newcastle with Zelic getting on the balls. We see this chance. Kohler too tight. The ball drops. Craig Deans needs to get closer there. Luckily for him, Calvert get underneath it.
They go back and start again. Belcanis sends it across now to Van Dommel. Here's Vert, tagged by Deans. Found himself a little bit of space here, Carl Vert. The cross comes in, and it is in. And Adelaide United score the historic goal, and it's Carl Vert who's knocked on the door, and he has the goal.
Well, he's looked dangerous, hasn't he? This time, he makes Newcastle pay with some sloppy defending in the centre of defence. A wonderful ball in from Ross Aloisi, and it was well played. They switched from right to left, went through Costanzo, came back. This is Ross Aloisi on the ball, whips this one across, gets in between two defenders, glancing header, 1-0 to Adelaide.
Left-stranded Liam Reddy. What an effort from Carl Vert. He's given the Jets defence some hurry-curry in this match, and it might be something of a shock, but Adelaide have arrived with the opening goal here. Now, can the Jets come back? Here's Nick Carl. Now Pickett. They have had their hands full, Robbie Slater, this Jets defence.
Well, they have, and Adelaide have started the brighter. There's no doubt about it. They've dominated the game. It was just at a time when Newcastle probably had their best chance that Adelaide went up the other end and took the lead. And as you said, first ever goal in the Hyundai A-League, historic Carl Vert, the veteran.
Yes, another veteran giving away the foul there, Ross Aloisi on Ante Milicic. So from the dead ball, see what Zelic can conjure up. Thompson got a knock, play goes on, Zelic slides in. And again. Aloisi takes stock. Here's Van Dommel. Just feel Newcastle need to put some passes together here. Take the sting out of Adelaide. Here's Paul Kohler. Looking for young Mark Bridge, who put something in the back. Play goes on. Thompson goes into Milicic. Johnson had peeled off, but it goes across him to Jade North. North swings it in. They jump. Great chance. Pierre Bridge. Still they try. Milicic had the last effort, but Adelaide United found a wall in the last line.
Well, it was much better play. Great ball in from Jade North. Milicic gets a touch. Mark Bridge thought waited just a bit too long. Ended up with Milicic at the end again. 3 players with chances. See that ball coming across. Adelaide defence don't deal with it. Louis Brain was back there. It's a very good save from Beltrami, and they get away with it.
Here's Nicky Carl. Carl can look up, and the shot is a little wide.
Well, it was worth a chance. Nicky Carl probably getting into a position that he much prefers, more central. Just screws that one wide. To defend more, so they're giving more fouls away.
Now here's a chance, Pantelis. That could have been close. Here's the shot, the deflection. Johnson got ahead. And they scramble it away, the Jets.
Ned Zelic more into the game.
Here's Johnson. Lovely ball from Johnson, releasing Thompson. Across it comes. Here's the shots. Ante Milicic had a golden opportunity to let fly at goal and didn't get hold of it.
It's a much better passage of play. Beautiful ball from Richard Johnson, releasing Matthew Thompson. Great vision to pull this back to Milicic, and you fancy a fully fit Ante Milicic would have at least hit the target here. It was great vision from Matthew Thompson, much better from Newcastle.
Now Elegich. And that is half-time here at Energy Australia Stadium. And what a performance has been put in by Adelaide United. They lead it 1-0 over the Newcastle Jets. Carl Veert, who rose in the box to head home. And John Cosmina will be a very happy man as we watch the players file off towards the tunnel. Carl Veert, one of the best on the ground. And we will be back on the other side of these messages with all the highlights from that first half. Everything they've thrown at Adelaide United, the visiting defence has stood tall. It is an experienced back four, particularly Michael Valcanis, and just in front, Ange Costanzo. So all in readiness as we get underway for this second half. And Newcastle Jets 0, Adelaide United 1. Opening night of the Hyundai A-League here in Newcastle. Of course, a big doubleheader coming up on Fox Sports. Members Equity Stadium in Perth is our venue for our second live match when the Perth Glory do battle with the Central Coast Mariners, the pre-season cup winners. So a lot to look forward to still tonight. But for them, push it across now to Jade North. Zelic back to North, short for Carl. Square is Johnson. Now Carl. Adelaide shifting nicely in defence. Ned Zelic goes on to the left. It's a measured cross from Zelic. Taken out of the hands of Beltrami. And Adelaide momentarily get it away to safety. Costanzo. Brain. Defender dropped off. Brain's got a little bit of room. He beats one man. Still Louis. Brain! Well, it was a smart play. That's a terrible pun, but Liam Reddy hangs on and will clear it as quick as possible.
Yeah, good play from Louis Brain, cutting in from the right-hand side. He was given far too much space. A bad save from Liam Reddy, but Newcastle looking very, very hesitant.
Adelaide United. Dodd sends it across. Here's Veert! The challenger's flying in. A ball may have struck his own man, but what an opportunity for Carl Veert to grab a double.
Well, the pace of Travis Dodd just got too much for Picken. Good vision, pulls it back. Carl Veert, that's hit his own player. You see the pull back here, straight into the back of Pantelis, and Newcastle survive.
Towards Veert, who climbs nicely. Brain again across. Costanzo. Still they try. And the pressure valve released after the shot from Van Dommel.
Well, you see the ball come in from the corner. Again, Calvert, first to it. Louis Brain comes in, whips this one into the danger area. Steve Eagleton manages to clear it. Comes in for Costanzo to Van Dommel on his favoured left foot. Should have done better. Harness. Ball comes to Halidi trying the shot.
Now Adelaide, it breaks here. What a chance this is for Travis Dodd! Well, just for a moment, you thought it may have sneaked in, but side netting.
I think you'll find this is actually quite a good save from Liam Reddy. It's Travis Dodd. Again, Alan Picking coming out. Travis Dodd shoots. I think Liam Reddy just a little touch on it to give us this corner. But Adelaide, again, knocking on the door.
Just a fingertip from Reddy. May have kept the Jets in the match. It's a deep, high corner to the back. And Zelic concedes another one.
See this shot again. Alan Picking caught out. Travis Dodd, good pace. It's a good strike and just a hand from Liam Reddy getting out of that near.
Then Dommel on bridge. Corner goes across, swung in by Johnson. What a chance for Alan Picking, who'd wandered up from the back, but Beltrami stands tall.
That's a little short corner. Beautiful ball in from Richard Johnson, and Alan Picking completely unmarked. Really should have done better here. Not enough power on the header, and easy for Beltrami.
Now Picking. Jade North looking for Milicic. Here's Nick Carl. Johnson! He got plenty on it, Richard Johnson, but Beltrami again.
That was a good strike laid off by Nicky Carl. Richard Johnson being Newcastle's best player. Good strike, but well held by Beltrami.
And continue to keep possession. Now back to Costanzo, who hooks it into the box. Laid down by Kemp. And the shot was brilliantly saved by Reddy. Ross Aloisi, who's done just about everything but score.
Well, good passage of play. First time ball from Costanzo. Kemp chests it down beautifully, and Reddy has kept his side in the game.
90 minutes are up. The ball played through. It's Travis Dodd. Can he finish it? He can't. Travis Dodd. The speed of Adelaide has cut Newcastle to ribbons. Chad Bugaya, the fresh legs on, the ball into Dodd's path, and he hooked it. Not high, but certainly wide and not too handsome. Newcastle, the ball at the feet of Zelic. Johnson was looking for Nick Carl. Nick Carl swings it in at the back post. What a chance for Jade North. Not the first time he's got into that position. But the header, as we watch it here, a measured cross from Carl. And Jade North just couldn't get the direction. And is that the last chance for the Jets to get something from this match? Beltrami sends it long. Here's Musalik. Back to Picking. 93rd minute, the last of 3 extra minutes. Zelic is tagged by Dodd. He keeps possession. North to Musalik. Now Johnson. Back to Musalik. Zelic is free. Eagleton. Adelaide shift across the park. Zelic was clipped. He plays on. Eagleton down the flank. He goes deep to the back post. The header comes back across. And Adelaide Adelaide get it to safety. And there is the final whistle. And the Adelaide United players celebrate. There are celebrations right across the camp. Newcastle Jets 0, Adelaide United 1. Carl Wirtz goal 18 minutes into the first half has separated these teams, and as time ticks on in the Hyundai A-League, it might just become a famous first up victory for the men from Adelaide. Costanzo, Dodd, Ross Aloisi to skipper. He worked tirelessly right through this one. Well, Newcastle will be stung. Dodd, Aloisi and Valkanis come together. In some ways, they played the Jets at their own game, but it was the speed down the flanks, and that man, Carl Wirtz, who got the goal, but he caused all sorts of problems for the Jets defence, who really was shown up for a lack of pace. And they are very happy. Let's find out more with head coach John Cosmina, who's with Robbie Slater.
Well, John Cosmina, opening of the Hyundai A-League, tough assignment for you up here in Newcastle, but you come through with flying colours.
Yeah, I think we really worked well as a team tonight. We were buzzing and probably a little bit lucky not to go away with a little bit more than we got, but look, what a fantastic game of football.
You must be very, very happy with the form of Carl Wirtz. I think we can call him a veteran now, but he certainly caused Newcastle defence lots of problems.
He's an intelligent player. He learned his trade a long time ago, and tonight he was outstanding. He was there when we needed him defensively. He was on the end of things in the box. He's unlucky not to have another goal or two to his credit.
And along with him, Ross Aloisi in the midfield, the top of the diamond, Costanzo at the bottom of the diamond, mate, they were magnificent for you.
They work well off each other. They balance quite well, and Ross works hard and sits in the hole, and he reads things. He's so clever with the ball as well. He just picks it when we need him to do it. And it was, I mean, I can't say anymore. It was a great game, and to come here under pressure, no one expected us to win except us, and we did.
Yeah, well done, John.
Well, they are the fighting words from John Cosmina. No one expected us to win, but they have won through that man, Carl Wirtz. Probably the best on the ground. It was his headed goal in front of over 13,000 people. The Jets fans file out.
It's going to be a really tough league, and it's going to be 0-0s and 1-0s and 2-1s and things like that, and it'll come down to individuals.
We obviously wanted to start the season with a bang, and to lose at home is always disappointing, especially on the first match.
There's still plenty to play for. Unbelievable. Noel Spencer out of nothing, and the Mariners take the lead.
Not often Noel Spencer gets goals, but when they do, when he does, sorry, they're to be remembered. Great ball in there, great first touch by Noel Spencer, out of his feet, and right up where the Spiders live, catching Jason Petkovic totally unawares. What a great finish by Noel Spencer.
Welcome back to the highlight show. When Queensland and New Zealand met in the pre-season cup, it was one-way traffic to the Roar. The Knights will be eager to erase memories of that 5-goal thrashing at home. Queensland welcome back the injured duo of Matt Mackay and Josh McLaughlin. Alex Frost leads in attacking midfield with South Korean international Hyuk Soo Seow. The Knights were dealt a midweek blow with a hamstring injury to Noah Hickey. Plagued by a shortage of goals in the pre-season, Coach John Adshead will be looking to the services of striker Sean Devine to stop the rot. Your commentators at Suncorp Stadium are Graham Arnold and Fred de Jong.
And the ball pops out to Richter. The Knights got 8 and 9 players back. Richter! And a good save by Milosevic.
This is a great period here for Queensland. Roy, you see the ball come out to Jonty Richter, takes the ball on, and a good strike and a good save down low to his left by Danny Milosevic.
In, arms flying high, and this time Carl Dodd picks up a yellow card for an elbow to the head of Sean Devine.
Here we see a high ball in there. Carl Dodd with a swinging elbow. Fred, he's lucky he stayed on the pitch. That looked intentional. But Sean Devine, to his credit, he bounced straight back up.
Yep.
May we see a return.
Back to the action. Maguire sends the ball in. Neil Emlyn, head in hands. He knows how close that one was.
Beautiful delivery there by Josh Maguire into the first post area. Emlyn getting across in front of Cial.
Richter. First time in the second half. Richter showing good pace. Cuts inside ball. Richter decides to shoot himself. Good save. And again the shot over the top from Buis.
Jonty Richter once again down the right-hand side. 1 against 1 with Ronnie Bull. Dummies to cross, cuts inside. Good shot with his left foot. Good save there by Danny Milosevic. The ball falls to Remo Buis. And a good strike that just went over the crossbar.
And you get a feeling with the Queenslanders, if they do score one, they've got the ability to go on with it. Here's Brosk with a shot!
You see Michael Baird challenging for the ball there. Alex Brosk getting in behind John Tambouris, brought the ball down well, and first time, a lovely strike and just wide.
Yes, he's picked this one up a long way out, no hesitation. Brosk, wide right. Here's Chad Gibson. Ball comes out to Brosk again, chipped over the back. Here's Richter. Richter sends it in, must be a goal. Cleared off the line.
Good work here by Chad Gibson out of his feet to Alex Brosk. Delightful ball to the back post with Jonty Richter. But what was Shin doing?
Here's Baird. Baird, again a chance, running at the defence. Baird, just take him on. Good tackle from Hay. Shot! And there it is! Queensland take the lead. It's 1-0.
Alex Brosk has been a thorn in New Zealand's side all day. Ball bounces free on his favoured left foot. And what a delightful strike. Haven't we seen some wonderful goals in the first round of the A-League? And this is up there with the best.
Here's Zhang. Zhang into the box. Baisley try to help out. Here's Baisley. Touch the ball's in. Oh, the referee's blown for a free kick on Tom Willis.
You see Sean Devine just runs. He's only got his eyes on Tommy Willis there. He jumps into the back of Willis, and that's a correct decision by Matthew Breeze.
Here's Baird again. Again, he's going off on a surging run. Michael Baird. Milosevic, you've got to come. Baird, he goes round him. Must score, Baird. And he does so. It's Queensland 2, the Knights 0.
Sees tenacity here. He never gives up chasing the ball. Poor back pass there by Josh Maguire.
But Michael Baird does well. Goes around Milosevic. And finishes well as well. And full time, Matthew Breeze says that's enough. And the Queensland Roar in front of 20,000 spectators here this afternoon. They've picked up maximum points in their match. And the Queensland Roar have taken this one out 2-0 over the New Zealand Knights.
I promised during the week that we play attacking soccer. I hope that we produced. Full credit to the boys. I can only promise they're doing the job, and I think they did a fair job, and I think the crowd or whoever watched it at home at Foxtel enjoyed it.
Calling the action from Aussie Stadium is Alan Hunter and Mike McCann. That's a poor ball from 5. Allows Ferranti. Oh, and Bolton's there. Another chance, and it's missed. What a golden opportunity for Melbourne.
What a brilliant piece of goalkeeping there from Clint Bolton. He was aware to the mistake from Ian Fife. He was the man that gave the ball away for the second time in a minute. And look at that early pace from Thompson. And the second one's on target. They're in trouble.
Melvin Checkley
Feeds it nicely. Petrovsky, what can he do? Zrilic as well. Hands on it, Galikovic. And they'll take the corner.
They've turned it around. Look at this. Beautiful little touch there from Chekali. Comes inside quite easily, and a good first-time turn strike there from his partner, David Zrilic. You can hear the shout, "Keep it simple," from Pierre Litbarski.
Petrovsky, some support from York. And now to Chekali. What will he do? He looks for Dwight again, but it doesn't get that far. Still there for Sydney. Talley to Chekali. And he goes. Who's there? Over the top! Right over the top of the bar. Real chance created there by Petrovsky. A little bit too high.
Well, he's been the most likely for me. His feet are sharp. Second delivery there with the right foot this time from the left footer, Chekali. Over the head bicycle kick with the left foot. They don't come much more difficult.
Thompson. Vlahos. Sarki's in. Oh, it takes the woodwork.
Beautiful, clever ball it was that saw that one come off the keeper's armoury, as they call it, the crossbar. Clint Bolton, I'd have to say, he judged that. He knew that was coming off the crossbar, but the ball from Sarki's in behind to Thompson was world class.
Packer does pretty well. And it goes. York! Yes! He gets it! Dwight York gets his first, and Sydney take the lead. That's what the fans came to see.
Great delivery from Packer. For the first time he's got around, and that is so difficult to do. The ball's low, it's in front of you, and as you can see, as the delivery comes in, plenty of bend on it, and he's absolutely hooked that one into the corner. No chance for most keepers on the planet. What a goal.
Thompson. That's a good ball. Now there's a chance for Melbourne. In they come. The shot is over the top, just wide. What a glorious opportunity for Archie Thompson again.
Well, Archie Thompson must be wondering what he's got to do to score. Brilliant cut back there from Vlahos again.
Ferranti, one of those to arrive, one of those to add some polish. And one of them almost to get a goal. Again, it was just over the top. Archie Thompson, what do you have to do?
Clever little ball there, came across to the left from Ferranti. It was a missed kick volley that was directed towards the goal, but Clint Bolton, acrobatic save once again, and once again Archie Thompson, this time his head, flicked over the top by big Clint Bolton.
Melbourne with another build-up. These substitutes, Tedrossi, Diaka's also involved in the action out there. They've done well since coming on, and there's the equaliser. Archie Thompson, it's 1-1. He was rocking the baby in the cradle in the rooms earlier, and now he's doing it out there to celebrate.
Well, it's all about the delivery. The delivery is absolutely world class. He's whipped that one in with so much pace and conviction, and Archie Thompson has said, thanks very much, Carl Recchia. This one is definitely in the back of the net, and couldn't wait to get to the corner flag and celebrate. Shush, says his teammates.
So there we go, 4 minutes of stoppage time. There's Melbourne, look for a belated chance. Oh, off the side. Dear, oh dear, that was such a huge opportunity once again for Thompson. As Galikovic sends it long, but time has beaten them. What a match here at Aussie Stadium. It's been a beauty. Dwight York scoring in the first half, Archie Thompson scoring in the second. The final score here at Aussie Stadium, Sydney FC 1, Melbourne Victory 1.
It's an expectation. I expect it of myself, I expect it from my teammates. The manager is a winner, and when you cross that white line, it's all about winning the football match, and we didn't do that particularly well tonight. And as I said, it's all credit to Melbourne at the end of the day.
Well, I think that's what the Hyundai A-League is all about, and that's why it's created. It was, I mean, the crowd of 25,000 must have enjoyed that. It was end-to-end stuff, goal-scoring opportunities everywhere. It was a fantastic game.
So, Carl Veert's lone goal ensured Adelaide United picked up all 3 points in Newcastle. Noel Spencer's long-range effort handed the Mariners a priceless away win. It was double delight for the Roar. And Sydney and Melbourne shared the honours in front of a record crowd at Aussie Stadium. Queensland, Adelaide and the Central Coast share top spot, with the Roar better placed on goal difference. Melbourne and Sydney are 2 points adrift, with Perth, Newcastle and New Zealand left to prop up the standings.
Soccer's new A-League kicked off last night with 2 hard-fought matches. Adelaide defeated Newcastle 1-0, while the Central Coast won with the same scoreline against Perth. It was a disappointing start to the season for Newcastle. Despite a good crowd at Energy Australia Stadium, the Jets were outclassed by a determined Adelaide United, the visitors scoring the winning goal in the first half. A crowd of 13,000 was on hand at Energy Australia Stadium, most keen to see Newcastle open the A-League season with a win.
We are underway here in Newcastle.
But the Jets began taking hits from the start, with Nick Carl crunched. Paul Kohler was tackled heavily, earning Louis Brain a yellow card. Craig Deans was slammed in the back and had to leave the field, and a collision near the goalmouth saw Liam Reddy wind up with a limp. But the ultimate insult came in the 18th minute.
Found himself a little bit of space here, Carl Veert. The cross comes in, and it is in. And Adelaide United score the historic goal, and it's Carl Veert who's knocked on the door, and he has the goal.
Newcastle tried several times to find the net, but it was Adelaide coach John Cosmina who had the last laugh.
To come here under pressure, no one expected us to win, except us, and we did.
First of all, let's start with the Newcastle United Jets against Adelaide United. It was a 1-0 victory for the visitors there. And here we are, Energy Australia Stadium, over 13,000 fans. Congratulations, a great effort, because today, if you would have to say as well, there was double that, or sorry, yesterday, for a rugby league match. So 40,000 fans loving sport in Newcastle getting out in 2 days. That was the cross from Ross Aloisi and Carl Veert with the historic first goal of the A-League. Francis, you saw this one, what did you think?
Yeah, look, it was a great finish. Carl Veert, by our reports, had a great game. He played really, really well. So there were talks of him turning the clock back and all that, you know, which is great to see. I mean, he's always been a very good player, and I think that's one of the things that Adelaide will struggle with is goals this year. Unless they go out and sign a prolific goal scorer, someone who can play with Carl, I think they could struggle.
I think there were some concerns, though, because Newcastle playing in front of that crowd did not produce the kind of football, obviously, that would have inspired them to come back. And a 1-0 defeat, Branko, with a couple of boys, Milicic and Bridge, who were lacking match fitness up front. Things weren't really moving for them.
Yeah, it's a disappointing start to the season for Newcastle Jets, because in front of their home crowd and a terrific turnout as well by the Newcastle public, better things were expected. And I think even at the beginning, Newcastle Jets were the first off the mark as far as player recruitment was concerned, and on paper at least they look one of the better squads going around, but unfortunately at the moment they quite haven't got it right. And on Friday's performance, I think it's still a few weeks off before we see a Newcastle side that can play to its potential. When you look at the team, the players in that squad, Milicic, Jade North, Nicky Carls, you know,
Zelic, Johnson.
Johnson.
Durante's coming back from injury, of course, has a broken leg.
There's tons of ability and experience in that side, and it's only a matter of time. But unfortunately for the club, at the moment, they're just not producing. And maybe a win which might be just around the corner could change all of that, but in the meantime it's a bit frustrating.
But as you know from your days coaching, that when you've got the players comes the added pressure to perform, and of course I'm sure Richard Money will be well aware of that at the moment. But history was made on Friday night, of course, in Newcastle. They had the honour of hosting the first match of the A-League, and the Jets, they really went into overdrive this week on the marketing front, and it did pay off with that 13,000 crowd turning up at Energy Australia Stadium. The World Game went out to get some feedback from those at the match, including several officials, players and coaches, both past and present.
Excellent game, great atmosphere, family atmosphere. Football was exciting. thoroughly enjoyed it.
Oh, the game was awesome. Go Newcastle. You can win next time, but today was just an unfortunate event.
Oh, it's a good game. Like, first half was a bit dodgy, but the second half they both picked up, and it was a really good game after that.
Yeah, not too happy with the result, but a wonderful crowd for the first game of the new A-League, and we're very happy that the people of Newcastle have responded.
Yeah! That was bloody awesome, wasn't it? Yeah, it was good, mate. Good.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Excellent.
The ref's an idiot! Oh, well, on tonight's performance, I think it was very average, to be honest. I thought it wasn't the greatest performance by either side, but Adelaide certainly took the chance that they made, and they come up with the result.
Yeah, we're very happy with the outcome. You know, they come away with 3 points in Newcastle. I don't think too many sides will come here this year and come away with the 3 points. And we did it quite comfortably, really, in the end as well. I suppose we were a little bit disappointed we didn't make more of the opportunities we created.
Oh, the crowd was unbelievable. It was a great turnout, you know, that's what we expected, you know, and we just unfortunately couldn't deliver.
Well, I thought our first half was very average, and our second half was a vast improvement on the first, but we've still got a long way to go, in my view, before we can seriously be considered as a title contender.
Oh, it was a good game, I thought. It was a fantastic crowd, great atmosphere, and you know, a lot of positives to come out, and hopefully a lot more people will come and watch the games.
I'm always going to be back for the game, mate. I travelled an hour and a half down here from Singleton to come here and watch this game, mate. We lost, but we should have won. We'll be back, mate. We'll be back.
Did you?
Oh, Newcastle.
Oh, it was all right. It was mad. Yeah, they lost, sucked. The game was great. Loved it.
Well, but ordinary, just ordinary. I've seen better.
Oh, it's faster, more ball movement, I guess, and it's good to see, you know, the players like Ned Zelic and Richard Johnson passing the ball around, which has been really good.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it better.
Good standard.
Personally, I think A-League's great.
Good for the country.
Yeah, that was fantastic. 13,500 the first night, first game of the competition. I think people here at Newcastle have done a fantastic job.
It's, you know, the teams are all professional now, so all the players are a lot fitter and a lot stronger, so the game is a lot quicker and it is more skillful as well.
You know, with the players coming back and from overseas and all these boys coming in, shorter squads and everything like that, you know, it's going to make the league a lot stronger and you know, better for us.
Oh, yeah, it was just heaps better crowd than that. It was great. Yeah, it's just great. Just the atmosphere. Wish we would have had a one, but yeah, it's all right.
While they'd rather forget it ever happened, the Newcastle Jets players were forced to relive their disappointing A-League season opener via a video session today. Players have been left with no doubt the performance was substandard against Adelaide and vow things will be much different this week. If anyone needed an example of the Jets' intensity, today's 2-hour training session provided plenty of proof. It was a match review of their season opener that followed, but no one needed reminding of their performance after a stinging assessment post-match by their coach, and most thought he was right on the money.
Basically, he gives a bit of a roasting, to be honest, and fully deserved, I think. Yeah, he set us straight on what he thinks is acceptable, and that performance definitely wasn't acceptable.
In saying that, Newcastle only lost 1-0 in a game where both their strikers showed the effects of an injury-plagued pre-season. They'll be better for the run, no doubt, but the coach won't accept another team effort like the first.
They know that they didn't perform on the night, and let's hope it was a bit of a smack on the wrist and a kick up the arse for everybody.
It took only one half of football for the coach to see where the captain is best suited, with Ned Zelic's role to begin at the back after toying with a midfield role.
I'm as well aware as everybody else that we've got to get a shape and a system that suits the players, and probably having Ned around the back suits the majority of the group.
Newcastle plays the Central Coast this Sunday, a game that can't come quick enough for Jets players.
To football, A-League officials and players admit they've been stunned by the turnout of 70,000 fans for the opening 4 matches of Australia's new national club competition. After 13,000 in Newcastle, 11,000 in Perth, 20,000 in Brisbane and 25,000 in Sydney, FFA officials believe the clubs must now continue to work hard to keep the fans coming.
It was refreshing for all involved with football in Australia. At last, not a negative word, with crowds almost doubling expectations and quality contests.
To lead the boys out in front of such a terrific atmosphere, I mean, words can't explain, you know. I mean, the boys were really buzzing, very excited. And again, as a player, your performance lifts an extra 20-30%.
The noise of the crowd, just the quality, the atmosphere was just sensational. Another thing was, you know, the level of football being played out there. It's very intense, very high speed.
The biggest problem emerging from the first weekend was a pleasant one to have. Fans struggling to get into the ground in Sydney, and the club is hoping it can keep bringing people through the gates.
There is no sense of job done here because we've seen this happen before in the sport, so we're going to be working very, very hard now to really get home the message of joining up, becoming the season member.
It was the biggest walk-up attendance ever for a game at the SCG or Aussie Stadium, but the FFA isn't getting ahead of itself just yet.
We won't really know how successful this has been until March next year, you know, after the grand final and that first Saturday of March. Once we get to there, well, then we'll have a full season review because we've got to have the ups and downs and so forth. You know, we don't know how we're going to go during the summer months.
This weekend's round of matches will provide another test, but the Central Coast is expecting plenty of support for the local derby with Newcastle.
I can't wait. Hopefully there's more than 10,000 people, which I'm sure there will be after the pre-season victory and knocking Perth over. I mean, everyone looks forward to playing in front of big crowds, so boys are pumped and ready to go already, and it's not even getting close to the game yet.
In the most anticipated game of the first round, Dwight Yorke and Archie Thompson starred as the match unfolded perfectly to the script.
Friends of mine from rugby days over at ARU are staggered. You know, as I said, you're getting more press than we are. We've got a Bledisloe Cup.
Having drawn with Sydney and possibly been unlucky not to have taken maximum points, Melbourne is ready to take on Perth at home this Sunday.
Well, getting 25,000 people at the first game is a positive sign and something that all other teams and all other clubs and supporters want to emulate.
Archie Thompson and Sasha Petrovski today turned their attention to this weekend's match against the Solomon Islands.
It's huge, and even the next month, and you know, if we can make the World Cup, I'm sure football will just take off, and it'll be at a level no one's seen in Australia.
As the European-based players arrive in Australia ahead of Saturday's game, there's plenty of talk about the A-League.
Well, they got something to look forward to as well. Coming back here, they're all talking about you've got a big crowd last night, and how was it?
Emma Simpkin, SBS Sport.
And that brings us to our Toyota World Sport poll question for tonight. And after a feast of cracking goals in the opening round of the A-League, we want to know which one you consider was the best. Was it A, Noel Spencer's blockbuster for the Central Coast, B, Alex Brosk's curling left footer for Queensland Roar, C, Dwight Yorke's brilliant header, or D, Archie Thompson's superb equaliser for Melbourne? Simply text A, B, C or D to 1999 88 97 and we'll bring you the result in tomorrow night's program. And to help you make your choice, here's another look at those 4 fabulous goals. Remember to text A, B, C or D.
Still plenty to play for. Unbelievable. Noel Spencer out of nothing.
Chance running at the defence. Beard just take him on. Good tackle from Hay. Shot! And there it is! Queensland take the lead. It's 1-0.
And it goes. Yorke! Yes! He gets it! Dwight Yorke gets his first and Sydney take the lead. That's what the fans came to see.
Diaka's also involved in the action out there. They've done well since coming on. And there's the equaliser! Archie Thompson! It's 1-1.
Soccer now, and Uruguayan Mateo Corbo has been included in the Newcastle Jets lineup to play the Central Coast Mariners this weekend. Omitted from the season opener, Corbo comes into the squad for the injured Paul Kohler. Unlike their first encounter in the pre-season, the once underrated Mariners will start favourites.
Well, everybody's named us the underdogs from the start. It's a bit unusual for us to be the favourites, but we'll take every game as it comes.
Welcome back to the Highlight Show. After a heated contest in the pre-season, Jets defender Andrew Durante was left with a broken leg. The rematch between the Central Coast and Newcastle shaped up as the clash of the round. Mariners boss Laurie McKenna made one change to his starting 11 that snatched 3 points from the glory in Perth. Striker Adam Kwasnick replaced the injured Tom Pondolyak, who was joined up front by Stuart Petrie. Jets coach Richard Money reshuffled his lineup from last week, with captain Ned Zelic dropping back to his customary role at the centre of defence. Uruguayan Matteo Corbo made his debut at the expense of Paul Kohler. Commentary at Central Coast Stadium from Robbie Slater and Neil Evans.
Here's Brown. Now Gumprecht, who gives it off to Spencer. Osman joins in on the right. Matt Osman across! What a chance it was for Petrie, but still they come again. Now Heffernan drills it in. Well, Osman was standing there, and I think he got the fright of his life when the ball turned up, but what a chance the Mariners.
And a wonderful ball here from Matthew Osman. So difficult to defend it. Defenders coming back towards their own goal. And Petrie will be disappointed he couldn't get anything on that.
Thompson laying off for Milicic. Ante Milicic for the Jets. Promising, but well over the bar. Plays it short for Nick Carl. It's onto his left foot. Carl sends it over, and there it is, the first goal. And it is the hitman, Ante Milicic for the Jets.
Nicky Carl pulling off, manages to get around, whips that one wicked ball between the defenders and the keeper, and Ante Milicic at his best at the poacher. Sticks his foot in. That's a wonderful ball in from Nicky Carl, and relief for the Newcastle players.
Now, this time Crawley out in time. Ante Milicic has given the Jets the lead here. See perhaps an incident between Beecham and Carl as play goes on. Now Gumprecht for the Mariners. Has to thread the ball through for Osman, but he was caught late. Now Mark Shield will go back to this incident involving Nick Carl and Michael Beecham.
See there, Nick Carl coming in very late. Michael Beecham wasn't impressed. Picks up and gives him a push.
Possession and territory with the home side as they try and blast their way back into it. Spence and Quill was good, charging on his Gumprecht. He dinks it back across to Petrie! And there it is, the crowd comes up! The Marinators are happy, the ball dinked in was perfect for Stuart Petrie, who put Central Coast back at 1-1.
Great reverse ball from Mel Spencer, picking out Gumprecht, and he just stands this one up. And Petrie says thank you very much. He puts the Central Coast Mariners on equal terms. He just stood it up over the head of Craig Dans, and that's a good header from Petrie.
Still the danger not away for the Jet. Petrie is there! Oh, what a header from Petrie! Leo Carl with the cross, measured at the back. Pushing header from Petrie. And it's the last real chance of this derby match here on Father's Day at Central Coast Stadium. It has finished. The Central Coast Mariners 1, Newcastle Jets 1.
Credit to the boys. First half I thought were a bit flat. Credit to Newcastle, they've came, defended it well, scored a good early goal and sat back, and credit to everybody who came back and deserved to get at least a draw.
We've got two tired bodies in the last 10 minutes, but actually if we'd have made better use of one or two situations in that 10-minute period, we might have won the game again. But no, it was a much better performance, and I think the intensity of the game was totally different to last week.
Soccer and the Newcastle Jets had to settle for a 1-1 draw in the A-League clash on the Central Coast today. After setting the pace, the Mariners grabbed a second-half equaliser. Striker Ante Milicic broke through for his and the Jets' first goal of the season midway through. But Stuart Petrie's goal made sure both teams shared the competition points. The Newcastle Jets will keep an eye on striker Ante Milicic this week after the striker twinged a hamstring during the draw with the Central Coast Mariners. It's the last thing the striker wanted to worry about after a pre-season plagued with problems. What a way to cool off the Jets. Much like the freezing bath, celebrations for their first win also on ice after drawing with the Mariners. After netting both his and the club's first A-League goal of the season.
On his left foot, Carl sends it over, and there it is, the first goal.
Ante Milicic didn't finish the game with a hamstring problem, but he doesn't want to miss the coming home match against glamour side Sydney FC.
You know, everyone's talking about Sydney, but it's not just that. We owe our home fans something after the disappointing night that we gave them, you know, a week ago. So it doesn't really matter who the opposition is. We need 3 points.